Good. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have Joanne Bracken here with us on a Friday to celebrate the weekend, get us like in the most amazing, juicy, energetic for a really amazing weekend as the sun moves into Virgo. And Joanne is a Virgo.
Yay!
Have a happy birthday soon, a solar return.
Very soon, very soon.
Yes, yes. So happy early birthday, and I'm in charge of your solar return oracle, so I'm really excited to be done.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
And so what's really wonderful is Joanne is going to be spending part of her birthday on the West Coast. She's flying out from her home on the East Coast, coming to Washington, down to California, and I'm so excited and feel so lucky that I get to spend like serious time. Serious.
Oh, likewise. Yes, it will be. Well, it won't be serious, but it's.
It will be like
serious. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Very fun.
It's so fun. So Joanne's on her West Coast tour, and she's going to do a beautiful live in-person workshop in Berkeley, California, on the full moon, post full moon, September 14th. So we wanted to talk about our workshop. I wanted you, if this is the first time meeting Joanne of Magdalene's Soul Healing Friends. This is her group, so definitely join her group and check out our website. And Joanne is just like one of my, like if I had a secret weapon of like goddesses that I go to help me understand who I am, get to the next level, it's Joanne.
Oh, thank you. That's a great testimonial.
Definitely, you're so welcome, because I've been in her group Sound Healings where I started. Then I had a private session, and that was beyond. And then I took her first archetypes class, and that was another level of, oh, this is why this energy shows up. This is the archetype I'm working. Makes so much sense. And then I took her advanced archetypal class. Now I'm in an archetypal group where we just can't stop like meeting. I guess
It's become a habit.
Yeah, it's definitely a habit. So Joanne's so gracious to come into Lunar Ladies and share with us her gifts, and from her body and wealth of knowledge and her star seed self, starborn self, that comes from a whole other dimension that I would love if you feel you want to share a little bit of your background and your voice, and possibly what you're remembering is about your voice and your gifts. I would love that.
When you say my background, are you talking from this lifetime or from another planetary system?
Well,
I don't know as much about that.
You can start us out with this lifetime, but I was really pointing to interplanetary systems.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know a lot more about this life than I do the other planetary stuff, but I do know that I'm very heavily Pleiadian and have a strong connection with music and healing with sound and music through the Pleiades. As I say that, I just bubble up with joy. It's like that part of me is going, yes, I'm being recognized.
Totally. Yes, yeah. It feels so more real than the stories that we tell from this earthly life,
Yeah, exactly. So this earthly life has been rather difficult for me, but it's not always easy. Frequently it's not easy for starseed people to try to make it on Earth, because, and I'm going off on a whole different direction and I'll keep this short, but we come into this earthly experience, most of us starseeds, because we have a job that we feel we're supposed to be doing. We have a mission. We want to uplift humanity. We want to learn about humanity and take that knowledge back with the point of expanding the Creator's wisdom and knowledge. And so we come down here with these like, oh, I'm going to be, instrumental in lifting up humanity, and it's going to be great. And we get here and it's heavy and it's hard. So we have our challenges, but we are strong. We are warriors. And
Amen.
we're finding each other, and we're lifting each other up, and we're remembering why we're here. And boy, is it a good time to be here. You know, there's a big party going on, and we're all gathering because we have work to do. And
yes, I was feeling that one of my clients, we were talking about how powerful it is to be here. And we were saying we want to have shirts that say Earth 2020. You know, like,
yes.
we did it, we were there.
Exactly. So my work has always been about uplifting humanity, primarily by using my voice as an instrument of healing. And also not just the sacred sound work that I do, but I'm also a channel. So I give private sessions and group sessions for people to be able to sit in the energy of divinity and get messages and answers to things that are important to them. I don't do psychic readings. I mean, yes, I have psychic ability. You know, I think we all do, and some are more developed than others. But I don't call myself a psychic because that's not the work I do. I am a healer first and foremost. And my tools are speaking, toning, singing, also using my hands for light weaving and moving energy. So I'm a transformational healer in moving energy through these different modes and assisting people in releasing all the old programming and toxic cellular material that is in the way. We are here to expand and to grow into our highest potential as a soul here having a human experience. You know, we're spirit and body.
Yes.
A friend of mine calls our body our meat suit. It's a little harsh for me, but I get what she's saying.
Right. Some of us are like, oh, like, am I passing? Like, I'm passing at being human, right? This is what a human would say. Sometimes I feel like that where I'm like, I don't really know how to react to that in a way that, like, I'm supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly. Exactly. So again, my passion is really in helping people to dig down into what is blocking them from having the life that they want, from fully connecting with their divinity and growing past all this sludge that we've been stuck in.
And can you tell us the 3 ways that the trauma energy gets stuck in our cells?
Oh, yeah. So we all carry trauma in our cells. Our DNA is known as our living library. It's the storage facility for all the tapes of everything that we've done. And what I'm working with people is on the negative stuff, the ways that we've been hurt, disrespected, traumatized, all that stuff. So there are 3 basic ways that we have had problems in moving forward, these things that have created blocks in us. And one is the obvious, it's trauma that we suffered, how we've been hurt, how we've been killed, you know, all that kind of stuff. And that is all memorialized in our cellular memory. It's a bank. Our cellular memory or our DNA is a bank that's holding all this information, and we keep tripping over it. So we have trauma. We also have all the conditioning that we've gotten through time from parents, teachers, friends, the church, the government, you know, anybody that can give us messages and tell us how we're supposed to act, how it is, you know, this is how life is and this is how you're supposed to be in it. That all gets recorded. And so we live our lives based on our responses to that programming. If we're programmed to expect that life is always hard and there's never enough, well, guess what? We're going to create that life. It just has to be that way.
Yes.
It has to be that way. So we can help clear that stuff out too. And then the third way is vows, VOWS, vows that we may have taken in other life expressions. And these can be concurrent lives, really. We were talking about this in one of our groups one night, that there really is no such thing as past, present, future. I mean, we just have right now, right? So the present is where everything is happening. But there was a spiritual master who I thought put it very, very well. If you remember what a VHS tape looks like, or any kind of a tape that's on a roller that you can unroll and stretch out, it's like, so if you think of the VHS tape, all of our lives are on this one tape. All of our life expressions are on this tape. But if you want to get in touch with them individually, what do? You have to unroll it. So it looks like there are lives way back here, and then you keep coming forward, and then you can even go into the future.
Right.
Actually, it's all happening at the same time. So we're influenced by this stuff, and clearly there's a lot that we don't want to influence us. And the body always thinks that everything is happening right now anyway.
Right. So if we had a past life that was traumatic, the body doesn't know it's not happening now.
Right. And the trauma, let's say you got murdered by marauding Vikings way back in the 2nd century or something. You were in Ireland, and the Vikings were coming down the River Shannon and wiped out your monastery, right? And you just bit the dust in that lifetime. So you may go and take a tour, in a month, and head right over to that area where the River Shannon comes through, and suddenly your body is flipping out. And you're like, what is going on? I'm feeling all this fear, and there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening to me now, but the body sees River Shannon, Vikings, big ship coming down the river. They're getting closer and closer. Oh my God. And it goes into terror, right?
Absolutely.
Can't you just feel it?
A little too clearly, Joanne.
I wonder why I picked this particular story, Shannon.
I know, right? I'm like, were we there together?
I know, right? Right. So I actually was visiting one of those places. In Ireland, and so that's why this is clear in my head. But anyway, so that trauma doesn't go away when your soul leaves that lifetime, right? It takes that trauma with it, and then the next time your soul enters a body, it imprints that into your DNA. And of course, the gift of that, has an up and a downside. The gift in that is that you have the recording so that when you discover it, or you have any kind of a hint that there's something going on in that area, we have the tools to clear that now.
Wow.
And the angelic beings who had everything to do with training me to do the work that I do have said, this is a gift of grace. And we don't need to take years and years and years in therapy to undo all this stuff.
Yes. So I think that like the language, color, light, and sound that you have been trained in, mastered, that you offer as a modality of wellness for us. Like, can you tell us more about that language?
What actually comes out of my throat?
Well, it feels like because it's hard to put into words everything that's happening. Yes. But I love when you do the invocation and you call on your team that you work with, but part of that is I love when you say the angels of color,
right,
light, and sound.
Right.
I feel like that's like this kind of medicine that just clears the cells of the different.
Right. That's exactly true. Yeah, because we know that frequency, everything is frequency. Mm-hmm. We know that frequency combined with intention creates miracles. Mm-hmm. It just does. When you set an intention to heal something in particular or to create something, and you consciously use frequency, or in my case, I use my voice with sound. Yeah. That intention is the setup, And the sound drives the intention to creator so that it can be made manifest.
So the intention you set, and then the sound that comes through in the channel is like the rocket fuel to bring it back to creator.
Exactly. I was going to use those exact words, rocket fuel. It really is. You just go boom and it's off, into the mind of the creator. And that's how you tap into that level of magic, if you want to call it that.
Right. Yeah. Grace, magic.
Yeah. And I've seen it happen. I've seen the results of this from everything from something on the more sublime level to something really, really 3D and concrete. That one, the concrete one, was because I was a guest in someone's house in Santa Fe a bunch of years ago. And as I came out of the bedroom where I was staying, I closed the door and the door locked, and you needed a key to get back in. And I didn't have a key, and the homeowner was off to work that day.
Oh, no.
So, how am I going to get back in? So I had just come out of a 5-day sound healing convention. So I thought, well, let's just try some sound. There's nothing to lose here, right? So I set my intention that I was going to send sound into the lock, and, let's hope that it's going to open. So I got right down in front of it, set my intention, and I toned into the lock. And sure enough, I turned the handle and click, it opened right up.
Oh my God.
I was shocked. I have to tell you, I was shocked myself because this was like 20 years ago. So I wasn't as experienced clearly as I am now, right? But that was such, you couldn't miss that. There was an instant proof that what I'd set up worked.
Yeah.
And so imagine if you can take that same action with something you want to unlock in your own cells. We're literally going in and unlocking the programming that's been repeating year after year after year and keeps putting us in the same old binds. Isn't that cool?
Yes, yes. And I just have to share with everyone, and I've shared it before when I've had Joanne, we've been chatting before, but my work with Joanne, one of the big past life traumatic events was being, rescued from drowning in the ocean. And in this life, I've always run very cold. Because my constitution, I'm the girl in summer with the scarf and the hat on, right? And people are like, I'm dying over here. Why do you have a sweater on? I'm like, I'm freezing, right? It's just kind of been a thing. And my friend used to say, you got to rent out these hands during winter or summertime because they're like air conditioners, oh, right? So that was always been this thing. I didn't know what it was about. I just thought it was me, low blood pressure, whatever, who knows? But working with Joanne, we reconnected to this traumatic lifetime, being a young little girl, lost at sea, shipwreck, really horrible way to die. And I had that trauma, I was in the tape, it was looped into still happening now. But I could see in my life, I learned to swim very young, and my swimming, I'm a really strong swimmer. So there is no drowning in this lifetime. Right? There's my mom took care of that one, right? I was on the swim team. I did all this stuff.
I'm going to be ready for the next shipwreck.
Totally. I know how to call the dolphins if I'm ever in need. I'm fine, right? So the clinker, working with Joanne, when we got into that, and the angels came and rescued me, took me out of the water and into this beautiful warm island. It was really wonderful. My body temperature changed. I'm not wearing sweaters now in the winter or the summer, and I don't have to have socks on to sleep at night, those kinds of things. Very visceral shifting.
I know the first time I saw you with no sleeves, I was
You're
like,
like,
Shannon, oh my gosh,
it stays a little windy, so hey,
naked
I have this
arms.
color on. Yeah, when I had no sleeves on, you were like, that's what your arms look like?
Right, but that is the power of this, because we're shifting your whole frequency, your whole genetic makeup, because we know that this work actually changed your DNA. And it
Yes.
changes not only your story, but it changes your ancestors' stories as well. So we work a lot with ancestral healing.
Mhm.
We're carrying everybody's stuff that is in our lineage before. And if you have children, you passed it on to them. So we want to clear them as well.
Yeah, yeah. And so Joanne was super helpful, like in my Irish background, telling me about the coffin ships that went over and the potato famine and all the hardships and even that marauding Viking ship coming down the river, so I got to give a healing to all my ancestors through that experience. So I just recommend Joanne's work like 24/7. Sign up now. It's really good. And I love that you offer them in different ways that we can experience your work, like in a group, which is a very affordable way. And then you get a healing for yourself, but also you get a healing from everybody else's experience that shows up that night in your small group that you work with.
Yeah, those are the monthly or more sacred sound groups that I do over Zoom.
Yeah,
And
they're very powerful.
it to 4 or 5 people, and everybody that comes is there, is really meant to be there.
Yes.
And there's a really beautiful and interesting harmonic that occurs.
Yeah, there's always a theme.
There's always a theme, and the people who are supposed to be there are there.
Right, and if somehow like you sign up and something happens and you're not there, that's supposed to be meant to be too. So you don't ever have to really worry. I like it because I'm so curious on many levels, but I'm always curious, like, who's going to be there? What's going to happen? What's the theme?
Exactly. So, and then there's the archetypal healing group that I do, the class.
Yeah.
That's a 7-week class in learning about these 7 major archetypes and all of the patterns that get played out within the archetypes, like refugee or king, queen, artist, priest, priestess, those kinds of things. And every one of those archetypes has a set of patterns that they tend to fall into. And this is the stuff that people tend to repeat over and over and over again, like a broken record. And that's what, we're going in, and I'm doing clearings the whole time. Like every session is clearings for the group. It's not, of course, going to be as powerful as a personal session, but certainly a lot of stuff gets stirred up there. And healing happens for sure.
Oh yeah, so good, because you'll be, and Joanne helps you find the archetype you're working with. You'll do the dowsing to kind of really tune into which archetype is up for people. And it's really interesting because you'll have the archetype that's you're working, and then someone else in your group will have a different archetype that you learn so much from their ahas and where they go. I remember one of the classmates, like she was working the warrior archetype, and where she was trying to guard the women and the children, and there was just in that life the trauma was she couldn't do her job because the men came and overrun the temple. But when she discovered that that what happened in that life was okay, right? She didn't have to keep trying to defend the women and the children in this life. And then she could let it go because she was constantly standing guard, and she was exhausted from living that archetypal pattern unconsciously, which I thought was just, I still think about that. Like that was just so
and there's so much guilt. That's totally about carrying guilt because, I couldn't save them.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything this person tried to do in this life was about, I've got to stay on top of this. I've got to save everybody. I've got to be on duty all the time. And it was like, no, you can rest now. Maybe this was supposed to happen just like that because it set up all these other events after that were just needed to be like that. So you don't need to carry this anymore.
Right.
It's
Right.
real soul healing, and just so much can be resolved when we go in like that and address it at that level. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, really. And the stories are fascinating that come up.
Yeah, you could write a book of the stories that come out of the channels, the channeling, because Joanne will receive the healing vibrational sound, and then she receives the channels like message that also carries this other level of wellness that comes in. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, in the channeled messages, it's the energy behind it that for me is even more powerful. Like our minds and our ears like to hear stuff,
Yeah.
and people appreciate the words, but for me, it's more the energy that comes through the words, right to your heart.
Right. So
So
it's like
powerful.
it's so like perfectly alchemically made to like sing to your heart. And it's fun sometimes, like your voice will shift with the energetic that comes through, and it's like, whoa, you really feel the presence of that
Yeah.
message or the presence of that message. There's always this wonderful uh, personality that comes with it that you just feel at the cellular level. It's amazing.
Yeah. And spirit always has like the perfect thing to say to people. It's
Mm-hmm.
really fascinating to see what they have to say to each person.
Yeah, it's such what you do and offer is such heart-based work that it just that universal language of love just is just so like perfect for whatever's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So
then
you
you
want to
can,
go
yeah,
ahead? What?
I was gonna say then you can experience that as a private session with
Oh
Joanne
yeah.
is longer, but then now Joanne's stepping in because she's full time in her business and she's coming to California with a workshop.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about your workshop?
Well, this is it's hard to call it a workshop. I use that word for lack of anything better, because what I'm really setting up is a ritual that's taking place in sacred space. So it's somewhat similar to our sacred sound groups that we do over Zoom. But this is in person, and it will be with, let's say, 10, 12 people. Not sure yet. We still have 2 more weeks to sign people up.
Yes.
And there are a few spaces. Throw that
Yeah,
out.
I would act pretty fast though, because they're starting to fill up.
Yeah. So in this ritual space, I'm going to be doing channeling, guided meditations for the purpose of raising your energy and connecting with divinity. And then we're going to do this wonderful sacred circle where people are invited to create an intention that is part of, like, what is their vision for their version of heaven on earth? What aspect of their life could they improve upon and get spiritual support for? That, they really want to raise that up so that their life is more full. And so each person is going to get an opportunity to state their intention. And we're all going to be in a circle, and I'm going to bring that person up into the center of the circle. We'll have an altar, and that person is going to speak this powerful statement. And I usually help people to really fine-tune it so that it's the most powerful statement they can make, and stated in a way that has power.
Wow.
So your body language is important. The way you say it is important. The words that you use are important. So I'm working with each person, and then I will stand in front of them. I'll do light weaving, and I will tone. But in this group, I invite everybody to tone. And this is what's so cool. I'm getting chills just tapping into that energy right now. This is the coolest thing, because then we're creating this like angelic choir that occurs. And I can already hear voices saying, I can't sing. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. What I always say is, it's not about singing. Please don't let that be in your way. This is not singing. If you can hum, or if you can just on one note, you're good. That's all. And if you don't even want to do that, you don't have to. But when you get all these people focusing their intention or focusing their energy on this person in the center, the power to create shifts for this person and everybody in the group is immense. And everybody has a piece of everybody else's stuff. So the person in the center isn't the only one getting the healing. I mean, everybody's going to get time in the center. But with each one we do, everybody gets the benefit of this activation and download of high frequency energy for healing and for manifestation. So it's just one of the most powerful things. And a testimony to this, the power of this work, is that I've been doing it for over 20 years now. And I never get bored with it, and people do it over and over again because they love it so much.
Wow. I didn't realize that it was a ritual.
It really is a ritual. It's a sacred ritual.
Sacred ritual.
Because I'm really not there to teach you anything. I mean, yes, you'll learn some stuff, but it's really about us coming together and building this sacred space where healing and unfoldment of our divinity can occur in a safe space.
And it's so amazing, the timing, because it'll be a Pisces full moon, which is called the healer's moon. And Pisces is the gateway to soul, right? Through the veil, universal self. So it's just like, wow. I feel like the angels and who's like ascended masters are just like, is it September 14th yet? Like, we really, really can't wait for this. This is gonna be great.
I know. And I'll give you an example of what happened for one man who was in a group a bunch of years ago. He was in business for himself, and he owned I think it was like he did contracting for something. I forget exactly what. But anyway, his business was not going as well as he would like, right? So his intention was to start getting more clients. And he reported, because we met monthly for like 6 months, the next month after that first one, he reported that all of a sudden his phone was ringing off the hook.
Whoa.
I know. It's just, if you want to increase your business, this is a really good way to do it.
I can't wait.
Right. You're in on that, right?
Yeah. Let's increase business together, because that means more people get more of the juice.
Yeah. So all of us entrepreneurs who want help getting our business going, would do well to be there if they're in the area.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're not in the area and you're watching us right now, and you know someone in the area, so it's Berkeley, California, so San Francisco Bay Area, if you have friends or colleagues that are like, oh my gosh, they could really benefit. I'm going to repost Joanne's flyer, but I'm just going to share my screen real quick so you can see it. I have her flyer up right here. And can you see that okay?
Yeah.
So the Voice of the Magdalene, Sacred Sounds for Awakening Art and Co-Creation Workshop. And it's Saturday, September 14th, 1 to 5. And we're going to have some fun. I'm going to go to the gorgeous gourmet ghetto dinner afterwards, which if you've never been to the gourmet ghetto in North Berkeley, it's so good. That's where Chez Panisse is. It's good stuff. And so it's $155 for this beautiful ritual ceremony that you'll get to experience. And this is Joanne's beautiful flyer. And you can email Joanne at joannebracken33@gmail.com. Go to her website, magdalenesoulhealing.com. And of course, we'll be posting all of this in Lunar Ladies, so you can easily get a hold of Joanne and put down your deposit or full payment because it's going to be great. And I'm really excited to see who shows up.
Yeah, be perfect as always.
Always.
For sure. Yeah, so it's a profound experience. If you just show up and you participate, you just open the doors to really good things happening for you. And you make friends there too, because everybody gets bonded during these groups.
Oh my gosh, right? It's a total bonding experience because you show up and you might feel a little vulnerable, so you could work through some old stuff, and then you get to the other side and it's just celebration of the soul after that.
Yeah, and it's just so safe, and there's, you know, there's an atmosphere of love that's created there, because that's the vibration I'm working with. That's the energy that the angels and the guides, the masters of light all want to bring through. It's all about love. You know, that's the ultimate healing force. And that's what we're working with. So you combine sound and love, and it's impossible to walk away from this and not feel good. I can tell you. I've never had one person in over 20 years say, you know what, that didn't really work for me. or I didn't really get it.
Like, what was that all about?
What was that?
Yeah, so it's impossible pretty much to not understand or receive from this amazing experience.
Right. Just come and be open, and don't have any expectations. You know, you want to just open yourself up. We keep it light and allow spirit to work through us for our highest good. It's always what it's about. You know, whatever is for our highest good.
Yes, and then I will be afterwards happy to interview any of the people who experienced it, because so we could share it with our rest of our community, because I know they're going to be like, oh man, I want to do this. And maybe Joanne, with her guidance from her guides, will see how to do that more in a virtual ritual space, right?
That's right. Right. And I'm also told I'm supposed to be doing a lot of traveling. So, you know, that's always a possibility too, that if a group forms somewhere and I can get there, then why not?
Exactly. You could really go on a U.S. tour and come to some really amazing areas where, you know, the pockets of our communities can gather easily to meet you in person and experience your work.
And, you know, that's what Spirit keeps saying, is that we need to gather in groups.
Yes.
And this is the time to get our groups together and nurture and feed each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a challenging time to be here, and we have each other, and we need to be with each other and support one another through these times. And when we build lightness in ourselves and in our own communities, that ripples out to the rest of the world. So that's what we're doing. We're healing the world by coming together and doing our work on ourselves. It's like throwing that stone into the middle of the pond.
Yes.
It all ripples out from there, and everybody benefits at some level.
Yeah, because the work that we do is exponential in its power. So how group dynamics, according to the dolphins, this is right out from the dolphins, is the number of people in the group it grows at an exponential rate. So if there's 12 people, it's the power of 144 people. And those 12 people can do so much amazing work together that at a level of having 144, depending on who's there, you know, that's a little bit of a different experience, unless the 144 have already gone through a lot of wellness work. Then they can come together and grow up that way. But we don't need that many people, like overall, like 1% of the population really coming together, doing the work with open hearts, open minds. It could change the world like in a matter of moments.
Yeah. So we're doing our part here.
Yes.
You know, with everything that you do and with what I do and all the other beautiful lunar ladies who have healing practices, you know, we're all doing our own special, unique part.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And it's so beautiful to witness everyone like rising up and doing their thing. If they're already in motion, like, wow. And then someone else who's like, I think I have something inside of me. And then when it comes out, and then it's fun to, you know, cheer you on and celebrate and help you like get to where you want to be, doing what you were born to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I wanted to share about the workshop.
Thank you. Awesome. So Joanne's available for questions. You know, if you say, "Oh, I want to do the workshop," or "I have a friend," and you know, you're available to help answer any questions. And we'll go through the Facebook Live because we can't see people's comments. So Joanne and I will go through and help answer anybody's questions. But Joanne, if you have a few more moments, something really beautiful is happening tomorrow. And I would love what you feel would be appropriate as like setting the field for tomorrow. So tomorrow is a Mars-Venus conjunction. And so when Mars and Venus, the masculine and the feminine, get together and they merge as one, they kiss like in an embrace. It's a 2-year cycle until they meet again in that same exact degree. So tomorrow they do that dance at 4 degrees Virgo. And so like for all the Virgo sisters like Joanne and anyone else who's working on like relationship energy or creativity projects or purifying their body, mind, spirit wellness, like this is the time to set into motion a 2-year cycle of that beautiful, like to me it feels like the sacred marriage. Like the Hyros Gamos, it's like inner masculine, inner feminine in the body, mind, spirit, wellness state. And then having a relationship with another person who's also vibrating at that level of wellness, and to come together into that beautiful dance of the cosmos and to be able to embody that in yourself and with another person, hopefully, and to see what that's like. So I'm so curious if you have, or your team has a sound or something that could set the field for us to fully embrace that kind of cycle that's getting started tomorrow.
Right. So let's use you as a surrogate.
Me?
Yes, you get to be the surrogate.
I'm so lucky. Oh my God. Thank you. If I could sing, I would make you the surrogate.
Oh, thank you. I'll get my turn in our workshop.
Okay.
I'll suck that all up too. Yeah, what I was getting was about the marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, as you were saying, the sacred marriage within us, because we really need to create that bond within us before we can really manifest it in the outer world, right? We have to have it already so that we can attract like energy to us. So I think what you could do, Shannon, is come up with an intention statement related to that, and then I will bring through, I'll do my invocation and then bring through the sound for that.
Okay, thank you.
Support the sacred marriage within.
Yes, so stating an intention around I embody the sacred marriage of the divine masculine and divine feminine within me. Oh, I got nice. I'm warm. I feel it in my tummy.
Embrace it warm. Okay, so what would that look like? We want to make it real. Like if you were to imagine the divine feminine dancing with the divine masculine, what would that look like and feel like?
So the image, I saw this image on my getaway last weekend to Mendocino, but it was this beautiful, the image of the sun and the moon, where the crescent moon is cradled by the sun's face, and they're just kind of like part of one another.
Yeah.
Whoever the artist was did a really good job, because the sun's face was just so full of love, and the moon was receiving it like in such a state of allowing. So that it just caught my heart. I was like, oh, just this beautiful, confident way of, I love you, and I'm shining all my heart up upon you with no fear, right? And then the moon was like, so like I'm receiving all that love with like no barriers.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like that just going around and around and around, like this beautiful like swirl of that.
That's beautiful.
That's what I'd like.
Okay, so you're going to hold that and keep visualizing that. And I now invoke the power and presence. God, Goddess, all that is, of our beautiful masters of light, the Christed ones, the archangels, particularly Metatron, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel, Sandalphon, the angels of sound, light, and color, the Pleiadians, and all of our higher selves and master guides and teachers. We call you forward to be present with us this day, to bring down the perfect frequencies, to activate and enhance or create more of the dance of the divine feminine and divine masculine in a sacred marriage. Please be with us and activate this energy within all of us at this time. And I open myself to the perfect frequencies for this higher purpose. And so it is. Breathe in those energies, dear ones. Feel your heart fill up with this energy of divine love and communion between two seeming opposites who are learning to dance in sacred harmony. Just allow these energies to move through you with ease and grace. We ask that these energies take root within all of your systems, bringing you into alignment with divine union within yourself, so that as you outpicture this, your world becomes more harmonious, your personal world, which will, of course, then flow into the world outside of that. Thank you for this opportunity to share this sacred blessing with you. We love you. And thank you. So how are you feeling, Shannon?
I feel blessed. Oh, it's so beautiful. I felt the personal energy of it. Then I felt like the why of its nature. Like it's for everything and everyone. But you feel the personal part of it coming into the greater space for everyone to have that personal experience just right for them.
Yes, yes.
I felt like this kind of umbrella.
Yeah, and going back to our original talking points for tonight, talking about the starseed's mission on Earth. This is a much more fun and beautiful way to help humanity than literally going out slogging through mud and having people throwing stuff at you and saying, you know, you're a total bizarro, we're not listening to you, and you know.
I was just thinking of that starborn energy where you come down and you're like, guess what, world? It's all about love. And they're like, ah, they just like you. And you're like, ah, what do you mean? You don't like each other here? No, we don't.
It's exactly like Marianne Williamson at the debate.
Oh my gosh.
She was doing such, she was doing that.
Yeah, she was being the starborn.
She was being the starborn with this message of love, and everybody's there going, what? Who is she? So it's the same thing in 2019. We're seeing that play out, but we don't have to do that. So that's a good thing.
Right, right. Yeah, so it's like one of my favorite things I learned from my speech class. You know, we had to take speech in college. Of course, I put it off for the very bitter end because I didn't want to do it. But I had to do it to graduate. Right. So they were saying, my teacher, I just loved him. He said, Shannon, know your audience. I'm like, oh, okay, you know your audience. You know, so don't be like pearls of wisdom if the audience is like, huh? We don't even like understand, you know, how you're dressed, let alone what you're saying, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so I feel like it's so interesting you bring up Marianne, who's, you know, stepping onto that world stage and so bravely.
Absolutely.
You know, and just the audience that is trying to interpret who she is and what she's doing is just, you know, they have no concept.
No, but she's throwing out seeds.
Yeah, she's
seeds of light, and knowing that most people probably are not going to pick them up, but there will be those who do pick them up.
Yes.
It's the same way with the work that we do. We can present ourselves. Here's the teacher archetype that we talk about, right? The teacher's job is just to get the word out. You just get it out. You're not responsible for who accepts it, how they use it. You just get it out. So that's what we do.
Get it out.
Get it out. Get it out. Free yourself.
Totally. Right? And now we don't have to like go to the riverside and start proselytizing. We could be on Facebook Live and say, hey, you want to hear something cool? You know,
I was just thinking, Shannon, that for anybody that comes to our workshop on September 14th, they could also have this stand-up comedy routine between us, to share in.
Oh, easily, because it's automatic. We cannot stop it. It's like a river that flows. Totally. Oh my God. Thank you, Joanne, for spending the Friday evening with us.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I'm so happy that you'll be in Berkeley and that you're going to do the workshop. I'm so happy for everybody that comes, and especially all the new ladies who come over to Magdalene's Soul Healing Friends and join a group session or have a private session, or definitely, when you next offer your archetypes class, ladies get in on that one. And It is for men too. So if you have men friends, tell them all about it. Have them come over because we need our divine masculine represented. We have a couple of ambassadors now, but they, could use some more.
That's right. That's right.
Men friends.
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
I'll probably do the archetypes class. I'm thinking certainly after I get back from my trip, like maybe early October or so. But I will let people know about that.
Okay. That's wonderful. Yeah. So especially if you have like partners who might be interested, or good friends, sons, neighbors, brothers, dads, tell them, don't be shy. Tell them.
Right.
They'll have a blast.
Thank you for putting this together and giving me a space to talk about this, because it's always fun. It's always fun getting together with you and sharing.
I agree, and you're so welcome. And you have a standing spot anytime you want to come to Lunar Ladies and share what you're doing, or offer, like, if people who come in new, like, who's Joanne? I'm like, okay, we need a Joanne sighting. We bring her in the community so we know who Joanne is.
Right. No, it's really fun, and I enjoy it so much, and it warms the cockles of my heart.
I was hoping you'd say something like that.
You were. I don't know why that came up. That must have been part of our old routine.
Yeah, I think it's our I was just gonna say we definitely did vaudeville, and we were definitely in some melodramas where we got to like act it out, because there's always a villain, there's always a damsel.
Right, that's right. That's right. And whoever made up that word cockles anyway.
Cockles. And why are they of our hearts? Like, what are cockles?
Who are these cockles, and what are they doing to my heart?
Right. So yeah, so expect a vaudeville routine when Joanne and I get together. It's really fun. It brings back, like, we're like, oh, the good old days.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you for being here with us tonight. And I hope that you have the most amazing Mars-Venus conjunction tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody should meditate on within their sacred heart center, bringing those two halves, the feminine and the masculine, dancing together. Just let them dance in your heart and feel good. We can do a lot of the masculine, feminine healing stuff through that kind of a meditation.
Yes, because the more of that we have alive and well on the planet, the better it is for everybody and everything.
That's right. And we'll be more in balance, and that's always a good thing.
Exactly. Harmonic balance is our thing, right?
That's right.
Especially with our sound healing goddess, Joanne Bracken.
All righty.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go.
I know, we hate to hang up every time.
Totally. It's always like, I think, my friends used to tease it, like, Shannon, your goodbye's longer than the visit, Like,
Right. You're funny.
Thank you for seeing my funny.
I love that. I love it.
Thank you, Joanne. I love you very much. Thanks for being with us tonight. And let us know if you have questions, and come to the workshop. We cannot wait to experience that together.
Yeah, and I'm keeping it small. So really, if you have any interest, you need to get on it quickly.
Yeah, quickly, because I'm already telling my local friends about it. And so I want to, save a few spots for somebody else. Otherwise, it's going to be all Shannon's friends.
That's right. That's okay. And, whoever doesn't get in, I'll just come back and do it again.
Yeah, I love it. Yay. Thank you so much, Joanne. And thank you, everyone, for being with us tonight. Have a blessed evening and a blessed weekend.
Bye now.
Bye.